always remain locked in. People used to always say, like, what are coaches looking for? What do they want? What do they want? And it took me that long to figure it out. They want somebody that's not going to be a cancer to their team, but somebody that's going to be great energy.
Welcome back to Recruiting from the Bleachers, the podcast where parents become the playmakers in their child's athletic journey. So today, our very special guest is Coach Daniel Nelson. He is a father, a husband, and as I just said, a coach whose dedication and strategy helped guide not one, but two children to collegiate basketball success and beyond. Understand that beyond every stat line is a family that planned, that prayed, that persevered. Daniel and his wife didn't just cheer from the sidelines. They built a foundation of faith, discipline, and advocacy that helped their children thrive academically, athletically, and professionally. So if you're a parent wondering how to support your child's dream, this episode is your blueprint. So take out your notebooks, turn up the volume, and let's dive into the Nelson's playbook on how they were able to achieve collegiate success for their children. I want to take a moment to introduce his remarkable young athletes whose journeys are a testament to the talent, the discipline, and the power of the family support. So first, we'll talk about Jacor Nelson. This is their son, a dynamic guard who began his collegiate career at Campbell University in North Carolina. Over 3 seasons with Campbell, Jacor averaging 5.3 points a game, 2.7 rebounds, and almost 2 assists per game. He later transferred to the University of Central Missouri, where he continued to grow as a leader on and off the court. And after college, Jacor took his talents globally. He signed his first professional contract with Portugal, Division II, going on to compete in countries like Greece, Lebanon, Qatar, Romania, and the Ukraine. His journey is a powerful example of how perseverance and preparation can open doors far beyond the hardwood. Then we have their daughter, Isla Nelson, a fierce competitor, and I actually got a chance to watch her play as a young lady growing up in high school. And on the floor, she's a floor general. Isla launched her college basketball career at Austin Peay University, where she played in 93 games and averaged 7 points per game, 3 rebounds, and 2.8 assists per game, almost 3 assists per game there. Her sophomore season was her breakout year, with a standout performance including a 21-point game against Kentucky and a 7-assist showing against Queens College. Now, as a graduate transfer, she is at East Tennessee State University doing her thing there. She continues to lead with poise, with passion, already making an impact on both ends of the floor. And so together, Jacor and Anala represents what's possible when talent meets tenacity and when a family rallies behind a shared dream. Their stories are still being written, but today we get to hear from the man, the husband, the dad who helped shape their futures and help them begin their chapters of life. Let's please welcome Coach Daniel Nelson. Welcome.
Hey, man, thanks for having me, man.
All right, let me give you some applause there.
I was wondering if you was going to have those.
Now, I have known Coach Nelson, full disclosure here. We have known each other now for, over 15 years.
Yeah, it's been a minute, man.
It's been a while since we've known each other. I will say this: beautiful family, beautiful, strong family, united. And these are the types of individuals that you see have success on the collegiate level. So I want to welcome Coach Nelson. And before we get started, Coach, let me ask you this, because I have watched you coach teams as well, but I got to ask you this.
Okay.
How do you teach your student athletes and your team to slap the floor on defense? Why do you do that?
it's all about getting the mindset. So I figured that started when I was coaching little kids, like 4 to 6 year olds. I figured, okay, if I can get them to concentrate and focus on doing a couple of things, then
Right.
they'll probably wind up playing the game the right way, or at least playing defense the right way.
Yeah.
So whenever I put them in a defensive set at practice, I would say, all right, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3, and y'all go slap the floor and stand up and say defense. And the little kids, like, they embraced it and they enjoyed it so much. And I was like, I wonder, I didn't tell them we were gonna do it in the games now.
Right.
So the first time we set up on defense, I said I won. So I said 1, 2, 3, and everybody just slapped the floor and yelled defense. I was like, oh man, that right, it just is something to lock them in, you know? Yeah.
That's good
I mean,
stuff.
I forgot about that, man.
I didn't forget. That's awesome stuff, man. That is awesome stuff. And those are things that my wife and I and Jordan, we laugh about, when we're together sometimes, and just kind of reminiscing about rec ball and the things we used to see there. That was, Coach Nelson, if nothing prepares you for life,
Yeah.
playing basketball at Coffin Road Park
What?
in front of some crazy parents, coming out on the floor, yelling at the kids. It was awesome time. Awesome time. But thank you so much for joining us here today. Just want to take a few moments of your time just to kind of help enlighten parents on what they can do to get their child to the next level. Let me ask you this question. When did you first recognize that both your children had the potential to play college basketball, and how did you nurture that talent early?
I think that collegiately, I mean, I knew Jacor was gonna be pretty good because when I go outside with him, he would just improve every time I took him outside when he was a little kid. Now, as far as like playing collegiately, I would say when we started, probably the AAU team, Low Risk and Promise. I mean, shout out to all those kids that played with us, all the coaches that coached with me. He wasn't really concerned about scoring the ball. Like, he could, but we had kids on the team that could score. And he was more concerned about not getting 10 assists in a game. But one time he got close, real close one time, and I pulled him out of the game, and he was kind of upset, like, man, you pulled me out. I had 9 assists. I wanted to get 10. I always knew he was gonna play the game the right way. So I figured then, and then when I knew for sure, we played the number 9 team in the country in big shots at I think we were in Myrtle Beach. Team out of Raleigh. I cannot remember the name of the team right. Team Felton. They had 10 kids, top to bottom. 10 kids. He's dropped 21 on those guys. And I was like, okay, he's gonna do something. Now, his sister, I think I realized we had a hooper when, I mean, she was a prissy little girl. Like, she was doll babies, makeup, nail, like, all out. We thought that she was just gonna do that. Like, and one day I was when I was cutting hair in the barbershop, I had Jacor in there working out doing the 2-ball drills, and he couldn't get it right. I was trying to have him alternate, the double Dutch type, and he couldn't get it right. And she might have been 3 at that time. So when he sits down frustrated, she jumps up and she was like, do it like this, Jacor, and picks up both balls and just starts doing it. And I'm like, okay. Now, as far as looking at her collegiately, we probably could tell a little earlier with her because, again, she watched her brother, wanted to do what her brother did, and she was just if you looked around at any girl that was playing basketball at that time, she was just, up there with the top ones here in South Carolina. So we kind of figured that she'd always do the college thing.
We talk to parents all the time, and they put a lot of emphasis on actually playing the game. And I think a lot of times they forget the academic side of this as well. And so my question to you would be, what were some of the key academic habits or support systems that you and your wife put in place to keep them eligible and competitive for the recruiting process?
All right, so early on, Jacor loved school. The first time I think he was like 2 or 3, and we were riding down the street in the car, and he saw some kids out at school on the playground, and he bust out and cried. And I was like, what's wrong, man? He was like, man, I want to go to school. I can't wait to go to school. And, he got to school and was like one of the brightest kids in school. It was something that just came natural to him. So it wasn't that hard to keep him motivated about schoolwork. Now, every now and then, as he got older and figured, man, I'm kind of smart. I don't need to study as much. I don't need to, Then we, hey man, let's reel this thing back in. Let's reel it back in. You trying to go somewhere, and he's a smart kid. So, I always, and I think a lot of parents don't do this. I always let them see my scars, so to speak. I would always say, hey, look, man, this is where I made my mistakes at. Don't do that. Or I'll tell them a story that might have, I don't know, shook them up, scared them up, maybe, let them see that, hey, that's not what I want to do. So when it got to that point, and I was just like, hey, man, I didn't apply myself as much in school. Y'all have a chance to apply yourself in school, good grades, you're athletic, go somewhere, play ball, no debt after college, and you was walking up in whatever you want to walk up into. And he took heed to that and then just tightened up and did what he had to do. I mean, I think he graduated LR with like a 4.5 or something like that GPA. I might be shorting him. He might, if he hear me, he might walk through, open the door, like, hold up, man, it was a 4.6, you know what I'm saying? But he did his thing, and his sister was just as intelligent, but it wasn't as easy for her. For some reason, it was just like, with him, it was like the lights came on at an early age, and he just, with her, she knew, like, okay, I'm not just like gonna walk in the room and everything just jump in my brain.
Right.
We didn't really have to even like push her. She would come home and she would be sitting downstairs to 12 o'clock at night with books on the table all over. It was like, hey, when she went to school, she went to school. Was she a social butterfly? Did she have fun? Did she talk a lot? Yeah, she did all that. Getting those books was something Anala Nelson did. Like, she got, like, sometimes we had to be like, hey man, it's kind of late, man, you need to go ahead and go to bed. And she'd be like, no, I got to get this, I need to. Yeah, she was on it. We didn't really have to push her much at all. Like, it was just, she just knew, again, watching her brother, she knew I got to do this in order to get there. So She just did it. And again, whenever she hit those tough times, we showed her the scars. Like, hey, this is what happened when we were younger.
Right. That wraps up another episode of Recruiting from the Bleachers. I'm your host, Michael Strange, and I appreciate you tuning in. Be sure to join us next week for another insightful conversation. Stay connected with us on Instagram, Spotify, and YouTube at Recruiting from the Bleachers. Like, share, and follow to keep up with the latest updates. And don't hesitate to leave your comments and questions. We'd love to hear from you. For a deeper dive into the basketball recruiting process, check out our book, Basketball Recruiting, A Parent's Perspective, available now on Amazon.com. Parents, remember, from the bleachers to the big leagues to the boardroom, let's keep cheering and steering our student athletes towards success. We'll see you next time.